Alright folks, welcome to day 1 of canning class. So today, we're just going to talk about canning and what it is. As a teacher, I always teach my students that before you start anything, you need to make sure you understand what it is you're doing. So just like everything, there's things you need to learn before you start canning. The most important thing you need to understand is that canning is a science. It might look fun and the jars can be really pretty, but understand this is an actual science. So there's some resources that you can utilize if you want to learn more. One of them is the National Center for Home Preservation's website. Another one is the Ball Blue Book. In the first few pages, they have some information on canning science that you can read. So let's get into the science of canning. So basically what canning is where you take food and you pack it into jars, and then you take those jars and you put them in a processor. That processor might be a water bath canner or it might be a pressure canner, depending on what you're doing. We're going to talk about that next week, so make sure you come back. Inside that canner, what happens is the food in the jars get heated to a really high temperature for a certain period of time. That amount of time that your food is heated for depends on your altitude, where you live, so you're going to have to find that information out. And it also depends on what the food is that you are making. Most recipes will have the processing time for you. So when your jars are in the canner, what's happening is it's heating your food up to such a high temperature that it destroys all the microorganisms and it makes it shelf stable. And also it's forcing the air out of your jar, so that when you take your jars out of your canner and they start to cool down, it creates a vacuum, and that pulls the lid down and causes you to hear that popping sound or that ping. And that ping is what lets you know that your jars are sealed. Did y'all know I wouldn't even eat the food that I had canned when I first started canning because I was so scared of it? But the more I did it, I got more comfortable with it, and the more I learned, I was more confident in what I was doing. I hope that you enjoyed that little mini lesson on canning science. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments, and make sure you come back for next week, because next week we're going to be talking about the differences between the two types of canning.